condom.
Hi, my name is Jay and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about breastfeeding tips. My scenery is a bit different than it normally is, and that's just because my husband got a new apartment and we are visiting. The whole white family is officially together for this whole month, and then we'll be parting ways again. I've been breastfeeding for about 5 months now, and it's been going pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I just hit a rough spot to where I'm like, dude, I really want to quit, but I'm just gonna let you know some tips along the way. I'm definitely not an expert, and so don't say so she said and blah blah blah. I'm not an expert, but I have 5 months of experience. So if you're a new mom and you've experienced these things, or maybe if you have better tips for moms out there, definitely comment down below. Or if you have any extra tips to add on to this for me, I would greatly appreciate that, because I just told you I just hit this hard bump, and so I would definitely love some tips. Tip number 1, drink water. Drink water. I cannot express to you how much you need to drink water. Your breast milk is just like your body, about 70% water. So it doesn't make any sense for you to go dehydrated and expect your milk supply to be top notch. It's basically water. So you need to make sure you drink enough water, and especially for you and the baby, your baby, that's all your baby drinks is your milk, especially for the first 6 months. So they need hydration, and you need to drink water for you and your baby. Tip number 2. So I feel like I'm really happy that I learned this, but I noticed that a lot of moms didn't know this, especially my sister, and I really wish I learned this fact before she quit breastfeeding, because she probably would have kept going had I told her this tip and fact. So your body actually produces the correct amount of milk for your baby. It's really rare for you not to be able to produce enough milk for your child, but there are cases that have actually, there's people who have actually not been able to produce enough, but it's super rare. Your body knows, hey, I just had a baby and I need to produce X amount for said baby. Your body knows that, so don't just trust your body, okay? When you just have a baby, your body, I want to say for the first 3 weeks, your boobs are gonna feel engorged all the time, and so you're gonna have you feel like you have a big supply, you're always ready to feed your baby. And the thing about that is, after about 3 weeks, maybe even a full month, you're gonna feel like your boobs have just went completely flat and just you stopped producing nearly as much milk as you did. That's actually not true. Your body has officially adjusted to how much milk your baby actually needs, so your boobs have actually created more space so that it can hold more milk as your baby is growing. It doesn't mean that your boobs, you aren't producing anymore. You're producing the right amount. Just keep feeding. Just keep that regular schedule that you had. Your milk will be fine. Your baby will be fine. I promise. Don't stop feeding. Tip number 3, you really need to eat healthy. I know everyone's eating healthy, and especially during your pregnancy, you probably weren't eating the healthiest, and that's completely fine. But as you're breastfeeding, you definitely want to make sure you're getting a lot of nutrients. It's very similar to pregnancy in the fact that your body will destroy itself for your baby in some ways. Not necessarily destroy itself, but it definitely puts your baby first. So you need to make sure you're having enough nutrients for you and baby. I definitely suggest continue to take prenatal. There's also vitamins out there called postnatal vitamins that are good for people who are breastfeeding. There's specific vitamins for breastfeeding moms. Me personally, I do take a few vitamins, but I don't take a prenatal or anything like that. I take a supplement, usually iron or vitamin D or things like that to kind of add extra nutrients. I try to get most of my nutrients from the actual food that I eat. So whenever I eat a meal, I tend to try and make sure I have every food group on there. I don't really pay close attention to starchy meals. I try not to. I'm not going to say I don't eat starchy meals, because I do love me some potatoes. But I definitely try to focus more on greens. With my mom, she tends to make a lot of collard greens and a lot of turnip greens. And I thank her so much. She's such a blessing for that, because Turnips and collards, big leafy greens, help your milk production so much, and also they help with your iron. And I have very low iron. I've always had low iron ever since I was pregnant. I chewed the mess out of ice, okay? Some foods that can really help your milk production, like I said, were leafy greens. Also oats, almonds, fennel, anything that kind of has that like green grass, grainy, weedy kind of consistency, and you can also get these in pill form, will help your milk production. And in conjunction with water, you should be good. Promise your body is always producing the correct amount of milk. Please don't be discouraged, especially after that 3 weeks. Don't give up. Please don't give up. You're doing fine. So as you're eating healthy foods, just know your baby, you're introducing different tastes to your babies through your breast milk. If you eat a lot of avocados, then maybe when your baby is ready to eat solids, they actually might really enjoy avocados. So, and if you eat tomatoes, your baby is probably going to enjoy tomatoes as they get older. So you're introducing little pieces of food to them, and your breast milk actually changes in taste depending on what it is that you're eating. So make sure you do try to eat healthy, because you want your baby to have healthy habits. If you hear that little one in the background, sorry y'all, my little baby got a little impatient. Tip number 4, which I actually got this from one of my mom groups on Facebook, shout out to Mom, is try breastfeeding or pumping while in the shower, in a hot warm shower or in a hot warm bath. It'll really help with the letdown and give you the best flow. So you'll get the most milk out because it's helping with your letdown. I've actually done this. I breastfed in the tub when Isla was about 2 months old to help with my breast production, and it's a really cute and bonding experience. I love taking baths with my little girl. She loves water, and it's really fun to enjoy it with her. So if you definitely like taking baths with your baby, then I definitely suggest it. It's great right before bedtime, giving her the bath and then letting her eat while in the bath. She just knocked right out. So if you have a baby who struggles sleeping through the night, try doing that. You know, baths really relax a baby. Tip number 5, make sure latching is correct, okay? Intense research while I was pregnant on how my latching should be, and you want to make sure that your baby is not on your nipple. You want to make sure that it looks as if the baby's trying to eat your whole boob, okay? Like, that's perfect. That's like literally the perfect latch, and your body will thank you for it. It's definitely gonna hurt. A lot of moms tend to ask, I know I did when I was pregnant, does it hurt? Does it hurt? It does hurt the first month, but once you get past that first month, I promise you it becomes like second nature to you. And the older your baby gets, the better they are at latching themselves. It's gotten to the point now where Isla, she's 5 months, and she can find my boob just fine without my assistance. So it gets easier as it keeps going. Just keep going. Tip number 6, I never had this problem, but I realize now why I didn't. That's because when you feed your baby, you know how you have a little bit of milk residue on your nipple because your baby's drool and whatever. Try not to wipe that off. Actually let it sit on your nipples, and it will stop it from cracking and being dry, because that's very painful. You can also use a nipple cream, but I promise you your breast milk is the best healer. It also helps with baby acne if your baby has it, and any type of skin problem that your baby may have. Dry lips, especially like when Isla was born, she had really bad dry lips, but if you just rub a little bit of breast milk on it, good to go. Breast milk is a healer. Lord, thank you. Also, you want to avoid certain types of food like caffeine and garlic and things like that. Stuff that is really kind of strong, I want to say. I don't want to say odor, because it has nothing to do with it, but just something that's really particular, like chocolate and things like that, because they can affect your milk supply. And if they don't affect your milk supply, sometimes they can also affect your baby's tummy, and it might be too hard or too harsh on your tummy. Like we talked about, the food you eat passes through your breast, okay? So whatever you're eating, that baby eating too. So like I tell Isla, if we're having lasagna today, you eating lasagna today. Try your best to avoid alcohol. I know, I'm not gonna lie to you, As soon as I got Isla, I was ready to drink, okay? I was ready to get back and hang out with my friends and have my recreational time, but try to avoid it as much as possible. Alcohol will drop your milk supply, okay? It definitely will. Talk to your doctor more about it because every woman is different. And also my doctor specifically told me that it doesn't transfer through your breast as much as people think. But like I said, try to avoid it if you can, because you know, like, you don't want something to transfer to your baby and you not have anything else, you know, you not have any other way to feed them. Usually if I know I'm gonna go drink, then I will prep 2 or 3 bottles so that way the alcohol will have time to get out of my system. So make sure you keep that in mind whenever you are breastfeeding. My last tip, and it's the best tip, I've kind of already touched on it, is if you feel like you do have a low supply, you can definitely talk to your doctor. There's a few prescription drugs, I believe, that will actually boost your milk supply. There's a lot of tips that your doctor may know specifically for you to help with your milk supply, but for me personally, I feel like keep feeding and keep pumping. Keep feeding, keep pumping, keep feeding every 2 hours if you feel like you have a low supply. Within 3 days, you will notice a difference in your supply. So keep feeding and keep pumping. And I promise you it'll all work out. So that's all for this video. If you've already seen 3 of my videos, then why have you not just subscribed? I mean, that's some loyalty for you right there. And yeah, stay tuned for my next videos. I'm actually gonna try and upload a little bit more frequently. I know I've been really sporadic, but it's because of multiple life changes. My husband finding a new place and deciding on whether me and baby should move up here with hubby or if we should stay located where we are. It's a bit of a craze because in our previous video, if you haven't watched it, actually, we got news that he was actually going to be deploying right around the date that Isla was due, and come to find out that deployment is not an option anymore. So we're still trying to adjust and figure out what it is that we need to do and what our best move is. So stay tuned for more of our videos and more tips to come.